Yo, 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 yo. What's up, y'all? It's Thomas the Prophet, Thomas Lamont Simon. Top rhyming. How you addicted coming back like it was some ramen or whatever. But for real, what's up, y'all? It's been a little minute. I say that every video, but whatever. But for real, how y'all doing, man? How I'm doing? I've been quarantining. If you understand what that means, you understand what that means. But yo, before I say anything and start this video, because I've been trying to figure out, it's like I know what I want to talk about, but I don't know what I talk about. I want y'all to, can y'all, and I'm about to put this section up on my Instagram because people don't know it'd be me posting or putting up stuff, or people just too caught up in their lives and I'm insignificant. But you know what it is. But check out my what I be putting up on my Instagram, man. At the heart and soul of the prophet. For the second P, it's an F and not a P. So THEACHEAAULTHEPROFHET at Instagram. That's why I be posting my material, be posting my stuff, man. I'm figuring out stuff, man. It's all a journey and a process, especially in this lifetime of mine and ours. But y'all want to see something? I posted it on my Instagram like a while ago. But look, I got a desk now, y'all. Still ain't utilized it yet, really. And I know y'all seen that. I still gotta figure that out. But yeah, I been got this laptop like a month or two ago. Got some Sony headphones. Thanks to my boy David for recommending them. Though I did a lot of research, trying to get the best of the best when I really start recording stuff. Also got an isolation shield for when I record, so it can isolate the sounds and the music I make whenever I figure it out. Because I tried doing the whole thing, and I'll get into that in a second. And I got a mic pack. This is not an endorsement, so I'm not gonna say no names. It also came with a pop filter, a mic, a stand, and all that. But a little progress, steps and processes, surely but surely. No, I'm just trying to figure it out. The only thing I've been really doing with this quarantining for the past 2 weeks. Sorry for all the noise. That's my stepdad. I just been writing a lot, man, and I've been really healing a lot. I needed this 2 weeks. Write down a lot of things and just try to figure out life and myself, and it felt really good. And the basis and topic of this video is waking up and really seeing what a lot of things are, is, have been, and what it always have been, just realizing what shit really is in this world. You know what I mean? I'm still someone that's figuring out myself. I'm only 21, about to turn 22 in a couple days. But it's just like, I think I just realized about a lot with myself. And some not gonna know, life has been very hard for me. Life is hard for all of us. The past couple years been hard dealing with a relationship, friendships. I don't know, not me, but everyone else living street life, living fast, partying, sex, shaking ass, alcohol, weed, drugs, crime, trouble. Just like a lot of things that we grew up normalized to, you know what I mean? And I always wonder why we did all this. Is it just to fit in and impress people? And just, I really just, over the past couple weeks, even though I've been on this journey, as you've been seeing, the healing journey, mine, it's just that I just been waking up and learning a lot and teaching myself a lot in my own way that's different because I'm a different individual. And it's just like a lot of things is wrong but in this world. A lot of things has been wrong, especially in the black culture, the black community, and just my people. And a lot of things I don't like, I don't really get vocalized because, we live in a time of enablement because the corruptions and the evils have flipped a lot of things on its head. And people not going to understand it till later because that's just how life goes. Unless you're ahead of the curve or ahead of your time like me. That may sound arrogant, but I ain't trying to be arrogant because I always feel like I've just always been something special and different in my life. It's been ahead of the curve with a lot of things. I haven't done what everyone has done. I mean, I smoked and drank a handful of times, and that was like when I was 19 through 21, and that's rarely. But that's a lifestyle that I never want to live, and I'm not even living right now. And I only did it like a handful of times. It's nothing I'm don't endorse. It's nothing to endorse. It's nothing to condone. But I'll get into that more on another story. It's just that a lot of things that I grew up with and grew up in, just like my generation, my community, my culture, our culture, has just been very sleep, man. People probably don't want to admit it, but it's just like we really formed dependencies on weed, alcohol, drugs, sex, partying, rock and roll, clubbing, and just a lot of the wrong things. And especially in the environment I grew up in, where it's like a pseudo hood, or because it's a hood, but I live in the middle class. It's weird. I live in Piscataway, but I live right near Plainfield, and everyone come from different places. Like I come from Orange, East, so that's around East Orange and Newark, and some people come from New York, where I'm from, or New Brunswick, which is in Jersey, and Philly. Some people that I used to know, I guess, and people just from everywhere, and a lot of the wrong things that's in those environments came into this environment, but it's just like a lot of things that going on in all environments. And I know it goes for everybody, but I always focus on my community and culture first and foremost because that's where the most pain come from. You know, a lot of hatred and love, but the hatred comes from love, but it's not really hate, it's hurt. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like there's no there's no individualism no more. Everyone's just trying to fit the narrative and just follow each other and follow trends and follow ways instead of being who they really are. And now everyone is just lives a life of conformality, thinking they individual by doing all these drugs and acting like they don't care and just being assholes and dickheads. I grew up with it. It's honestly, shit's not cool. Everyone want to be such an asshole and a dickhead. Everyone want to be so lit and popular or act like they're not a lot of things, even though that programming is deep within them. It's just like we a we a we a sleep generation. We a sleep ass generation. And my whole thing with a lot I've been writing in my notes that you gonna see on my Instagram at the Heart and Soul of the Prophet. Like I said earlier, go check my art out, please. Even though it's like a cry for attention, whatever. It's like, yo, we really need to wake up, son. Like for real, for real. Like, do people really ask themselves what they doing? I don't really talk to people like that. I only talk to my boy D because it's me and him, and also my other boy Anthony more recently. But it's just always been the individual out the bunch of everyone that I knew. I never wanted to smoke. I never wanted to party, even though it's like it seemed interesting, but you know what's going on at the parties, just drinking, smoking, alcohol, shaking ass, twerking, grinding, all that shit we too young for, man. People trying to act grown, and now people just tarnish themselves. People won't get that, but I get that, and I'll go in more detail to that later on. It's just like I never hung out unless it was a real friendship, no relationships and bonds. It's like I don't conform to bullshit. I never can, I never did, I never will. If I don't like something, the vibe is off or whatever. It's just I always been quiet, not to say things, but it's like it's also how I grew up with a lot of fear and insecurity, which we all suffer, which also got to be a main thing. But it's just like though, it's just like the whole community and culture of everything as a whole, whether talking about women on social media and how females are, and that's something I talk about a lot. How men try to make themselves and perceive themselves to be, especially how I grew up and what I grew up in. We just have no sense of individuality. I literally like wrote something like people try so hard to be different instead of just being different. Like we all go to these schools, got a little GED. We got GEDs if we don't graduate high school. I don't know. I'm trying. People get a mess. It's like I'm not trying to knock no one. You work hard, but it's like, yo, why do we conform to the normality of life? It's just so we could survive. And I understand some people grew up poor. Some people had it hard. Also, and people just know that education is the way out. And yes, education comes in many ways, shapes, form, and fashion. It's good and bad. But we don't open our minds out to that. Or we starting to. I don't know. We are a very money focused oriented generation, which is very wrong because, you know, people act like, people make money and finances their world. And I don't know, maybe I'm judging. We never know what's going on behind closed doors. But you could just pick up on people's auras and vibrations if you are tuned and connected. And you just don't like the feeling of how someone acts and what someone promotes, especially on their social media page. Because whether people want to admit it or not, people's social media is just like an extension of their life. It's like, depending on how they utilize it. And plus, social media is very influential, especially when you look at people that seem bigger than you or more successful than you. I don't know. We just grew up in a lot of manipulation and disconnect from ourselves and each other because we just been asleep. Like we suffer and we're traumatized. Like even in my last relationship, and I learned a lot. It's like I suffered codependency, and that girl suffered so much. I suffered. Everyone that I know suffers so much. It's just been rough growing up, and everyone try to dive or be spiritual, but it's like, how can you be spiritual? And I'm not even talking about religion. It's like, how can you be spiritual if you attuned to the devil's world and you just program and following and pretending and thinking that you individualize when you following the wave of not caring or not giving a fuck or fucking and sexing up everything and everyone and shaking ass and dancing on people, dancing everywhere, just acting a fool and just acting less than your actual worth and value if you know your worth and value. It's like more than ever, we live in societal, communal, familial, social pressure. Just try to keep up instead of just being ourselves. And I don't know if it's coming of age or waking up with myself and realizing, especially over these past 2 weeks of quarantine, just like, what the hell are we doing? Like, we're so wrong with everything, man. Like, literally talking to my boy D and or whoever. It's just like we could use social media to be such a positive platform, but the evils and the corruptions and the corporations and all that manipulate us to follow the narrative and standard to keep us down and ignorant and belligerent in our own community. Excuse me. Our own community and culture does that with a lack of accountability. A lack of accountability and responsibility with ourselves and each other. Like, we're wrong. Like, the black culture, African American culture, whatever you want to call it, is wrong with a lot. And this is going to be controversial, but I'm Mr. Controversial and not Mr. Controversial, not commercial. And I don't care if people get mad because I care too much because I grew up with it. Like, whether it be how the double standards with women with men or vice versa, because I've been through that the past couple years, and that's something I'm gonna bring a lot of awareness in. You know, like me literally growing up, even though I'm a weird kid. I'm an original individualistic kid. I'm one of the kids that was different, but then try to be different, but want to be different, but already different. You know what I'm saying. But like literally, like 5, 6, 7 years old, I'm thinking in my life, how I grew up, what I grew up around, without realizing what I grew up around. It's like I'm thinking that either I'm gonna join a gang, I'm gonna end up in jail, I'm gonna end up shot, and I'm 6, 7 years old thinking this. Why am I thinking this? It's programming. It's like literally thinking of the ignorance of the black culture and community and waking up because I need to make everything fit in. It's just like the hood is literally the opposite of the government. It's literally the same coin, just flipped upside down with all the same corruption, business tactics, and all that. Why you think we so influenced by the government or people in positions of power? We don't know power. We don't even know equity. Shit been wrong, son. And we just have a major lack of awareness and care that we act like we have. But it's like even on social media, people, it's like I'm gonna say like, some female, excuse my head, I gotta cut my hair in a couple days. I still look good though. You know what I'm saying? But like, women has been a very important thing to me over the past years, and it's just learning a lot. And I got something I wrote down. I might put out as a book, and it's gonna be very extreme but true because I witnessed it. It's just women get very defensive, and I get it, especially in my community because of trauma. But it's also like the neglection of realizing that men are traumatized too, and we don't like shit with women just as much as women don't like shit with us. But we don't listen to each other because there's no real sense of form of community, and we just lost in the sauce. Like, we're impressionable, we're conforming, we're fake independent, hyper dependent, codependent, just very ignorant and belligerent in my community. A lot of things that's not popularized because it's too true, because they want to keep things ignorant for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And like, in all seriousness, it's like, in like, I'm about to say, even talking with my boy D, just talking about hip hop because like you seen with my setup, I'm a aspiring hip hop artist, at least gonna be a hip hop artist and gonna make it one day because I got this special thing with me. I always knew. It's just like it's crazy how everything flipped upside down on its head from what it used to be like back in the 80s and 90s, where people were so against hip hop, like white people or racist people, white people, and now hip hop is on the top, like the #1 Billboard chart. But it's like, why is that? No, at least in the 80s, hip hop was trying to tell a lot of truth, and then a lot of what's the word? Ignorance, like truth, but ignorance came to fruition because, like, hip hop just evolves. But instead of going like progressing, it gets worse and backwards because hip hop is like very saturated now. It's just like everything is what it is for a reason. Hip hop is at like I just really be thinking it's like hip hop is at the top for a reason. Everything that is promoted for a reason. Sex, money, murder, drugs, alcohol, partying, being a hoe, being a dot, shaking ass, cheating, being a fuckboy, hitting licks, robbing, fighting, jewelry, materialism, plastic surgery, wearing all these colors and shit, and try to be all colorful person, have it seem like you a personality, but you're not really a personality. Being an influencer or a model, and just looks and just outside appearance and possession instead of what's really inside. Because when it's like you can't even speak honest no more with men, especially women, because we just get defensive. Everyone is fucking defensive. We're asleep. How are we gonna understand each other's point of views, perspectives, and our anger, our trauma, our hurt, our pain, and individual sense where we neglect to help each other and love each other? Yes, we gotta love ourselves first. But how can we love ourselves in a world where your worth and value is determined by off your bank account, how fat your ass is, how skinny your waist is, how big your titties are, how much dick you, and I see how much dick you sell. It's like you literally gotta brag about how much of a fucking freaking hoe you are. Like don't be on that wave, girls. Save your virginity, save your mouse. Don't be promoting that. Respect yourself and value yourself, ladies. You're queens, especially my black women. Even though I kind of have a hatred for y'all because we all got hate love relationships with each other, but shit to talk about. Trauma's deep, but it's just like there's no sense. Shit is just very manipulated. We are manipulated. We manipulate each other. We don't hear each other. We lie to each other. We keep secrets from each other, and this goes from the smallest thing to the biggest things. No matter, like I say, because I'm nosy and very quizzical, and you know, questioning. But a lot of things is just like you gotta question everything and everyone in every little aspect. Like even my past relationship, I questioned about my partner's sex life. Like I don't know, that's something she was uncomfortable with, but maybe she thought I was trying to judge because how you live certain lives. Like we grew up in a lot of wrong shit. Like my friends always on some wild shit. Like I'm literally growing up thinking as a man you gotta be all these things. You gotta be a gangster. You gotta be a thug. You gotta be hard. You gotta be emotionless. Like that shit lame, bro. A lot of shit I grew up with is lame. And now the youngins and people my age and older is trying to endorse that shit because we grew up watching rappers. Like they're rich and they're successful, but they don't know no better. They just children trying to be grown. That's what we grew up doing. Children trying to be grown, and me, I always been grown and mature for my age because trauma runs deep with me. Like I'm only 21. I mean, you don't see many people talking, articulating, acting, or being like me, or trying to wake themselves up. Yeah, people dive into spirituality, but shit is bad when stripping is made a positive. Get mad. It's the truth, and we gotta start telling the truth because we could do better, find better, and be better. But we have to wake up and learn in any way, shape, form, or fashion that's just beyond education. You know what I mean? I mean, beyond schooling. And, people want to cheat the system, go against the government, go against the police. That ain't going to help shit. We just gotta be good people and do the right thing, and that's a very sparse thing in a world run by the devil. Spiritual warfare is real, and even I don't know, because I'm growing older. Like talking to people, they always say it's been like this, and I understand, but I can only speak from my truth or my perspective and my community. It's like the evils running rampant, and the evils is way worse now with things like social media and how much hip hop and music is influencing the kids and us and adults. Hell, adults that knew better now coming out saying like they wish they did this and that. It's like, I understand, but a lot of people wish they did all the wrong things when they was young. It's like the whole point is doing the right thing. Like we just live in a world where we don't know what the right thing is, or we don't do the right thing. Like, it was always easier for people I grew up around, and that was real personal to me, to do what's wrong instead of what's right. And it's been manipulated to be thought that it's like that. But the thing with me is, like, I'm a good person with a good heart. The only thing I could say that is, it's just hard being a good person with righteous motives and reasons, even if you're suffering as much as everyone else that's doing the wrong things. Because when you're a good person with a good heart, with good intentions, that's loyal, committed, dedicated, friendship, relationship, family-wise and all that, you just get taken advantage of and bullied and used and taken for granted. It happened to me all my life. I never went down the road as my old friends or my old girlfriend or my family. Shit's wrong, and I'm thankful that, yeah, my moms and my pops is being the main factor, taught me that. Even though I learned a lot, if not most things, on my own. Like, I literally been a man since I was a kid, just in my own way. Not by being in these streets or doing all this crazy, stupid, dumb shit, but just being alone and just learning how to fend on my own. And, a lot of people that probably just grew up with father issues. I love my mother, but I grew up with mom issues. Like, we all got issues with our parents. Mental health is an important thing, and it goes to physical actions like sex and drugs. You know what I'm saying? Shit the more getting into. But it's just like, we just fucked up, man. And these past 2 weeks, I took it as a lesson, and I needed it. You know what I mean? Shit just been so hard, and like, I could say a positive thing now. Like, before I was at 5% of my journey, my healing journey. Now I'm at 6%. That's a positive. I'm growing slowly but surely. I mean, the things never growth and evolution never ends. Healing and spirituality, enlightenment, awakening never ends. It's layers. I don't read books yet. I might too, but I write a lot and I look at a lot on Instagram, because you can learn a lot on Instagram if you look at and follow the right things. Truthfully, like me. But 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 yeah, man, I could talk for hours, literally. And hopefully it hasn't been seeming like I just been mumbling and jumbling in this video. But yo, it's just like, we really need to wake up and enlighten ourselves and what we doing. We need to cut off this weed, all this drinking, all this partying, all this clubbing, all this stripping, all this sex with the wrong people that's not our partners. We need to learn discipline, reformation in every way, shape, or form, especially in my community. We need to learn love, respect, dignity, morals, standards, self-respect, self-love. We need to learn spirituality, psychology, philosophy, and we really need to pray, yo. Like, I pray coming into the new year, like, this year's gonna be different in some way. It's gonna be good for me, and it will be. I might have my little bumps and rules, but I've been through the hardest shit already. And they said I haven't, because of bills, like me still living in my parents' house or whatever, So I'm figuring out. I'm blessed to be in a situation where I'm able to work on my creativity, my voice, and myself, and educate myself in my own way. I'm not a conformist. I don't follow the narrative or the crowd. It made me have my own individualistic ways and thoughts and emotions that I'm learning to come out with more and more. Hopefully you hear and see it as time goes on, because I've always been on some different shit ever since I was a kid. I'm really, I got a legacy to uphold. I'm special. I'm meant for some shit, even if people like me or not. The thing is, I love you and care about you, even if I'm angry, even if I'm hurt, even if I got resentment towards you, because there's a lot of people I do got resentment towards, but it's the thing is that we just gotta learn to let go, let on, move on, and move forward, man. We gotta learn to forgive and heal and love. We need to learn self-respect. You know what I mean? We need to wake up. We need to dive in our creativity, individualistic thoughts and ways in our art, and understand it with negatives and positives. Like, I could think a lot of negative thoughts, if I have a lot of negative thoughts, feeling emotions with everything, but you can't even speak it out because we live in a soft ass emotional. We live in, well, I'm not gonna say emotional, but we live in a soft ass generation where everyone pretend they tough and hard body and street and shit. I grew up with it my whole life, when all it really is that you're just suffering inside, and no one confronts nothing. Like, that's why friendships fail, relationships fail. I've been through it all. Street life, even though I wasn't in that street life, I'm not no dog. I ain't no gangster. I ain't no gangbang. I ain't no hot boy. I was never no drug dealer, no chronic drug alcohol user. I wasn't no chronic party. I never had hella bitches. I was bullied. Like, since I was a kid up to graduation, whether I realized or not, from people I thought were friends, because I wanted their approval and acceptance. And a lot of y'all that's gonna watch this, y'all gonna learn, like, either because y'all was hurting or y'all was just ignorant. Y'all bullied me and y'all bullied a lot of people. Y'all hurt a lot of people just to act cool and funny. I grew up around that. We all did. That's what the black community does. That's what everyone does. And it's not okay. Even if someone's homophobic for a reason, xenophobic, genophobic, I don't know, just phobic. We just get defensive and we ready to cancel them instead of understand them. How we live in a time we want so much understanding, acceptance, and love and change. We're not willing to understand, comprehend, love, change, and heal and help someone be more balanced. It's got to be balanced. It's got to be down the middle, because everyone can heal and do better. And I get the term things is easier said than done. But, like, we all got to look at ourselves, like, do what I'm doing or what hopefully multiple people doing, is just living in self-reflection and really thinking about themselves and their lives and what their emotions, thoughts, and more as we grow. And I'm hoping to be a leader with that, with my music, my art, my creations, my voice, my YouTube platform. Just anything I figure out and do, because I'm meant for more. We all meant for more. We're meant to be better and do better. But a lot of people fuck up and fail and just lose themselves too young because they get caught up with this with the world, and what the world has been made to be by higher forces upon us. That's not good. That's not God. That's not universal. That's not the intuition in your heart. But the evils, the gang, the bangers, the corrupt politicians, the government, social media heads, influencers, rappers that grew up in ignorance, manipulation, and bullshit, and put that out. The cheaters, psychopaths, sociopaths. We all suffer a little bit, but it's like, Everyone wants to be all these negative things in this world and not be all the right things. And we have to be aware to that. We have to wake up. Alignment is afoot, people. And this year, because I seen something that said about the age of Aquarius, and I'm a Aquarius, where it's like last year or this year they said there's a change in the world or a shift. I don't know. The thing is, it's just time to wake up and come out with y'all with everything, man. And I'm gonna be a figurehead for that. I was always a lead. I was always an individual. I was always a leader, and I hated everything growing up because it hurt me personally. Because I love and care so much. Because I know we capable of being better and doing the right thing. We need to confront a lot of bullshit. We need help. We need to speak out with a lot of things, whether quietly or calmly, methodically, like me, or making healthy noise, because people make noise a lot nowadays, but don't be saying shit. No, no, I think about that with the not to get off topic, but on topic. It's like, think about marching. We've been marching since the '60s, the '50s, the '40s, and nothing's changed really. Well, shit changed, but shit is kind of backwards because we kind of like our own oppression. Like, I really wrote that down too. Like, and like my boy, Ant said, like, yo, we oppress ourselves. We all grew up oppressed, but the thing is, like, we go, like I said, we always pointing the finger at the white man, but we're the ones at fault too, really, in our community, because we grew up with trauma. I know I probably gonna have a crowd beyond black people, African American people, but like I said, that's my focus because that's where my trauma lies. Who are the people, even if there's other races that I've been most ostracized by, abandoned by, neglected by, bullied by, heartbroken by, let down by, disappointed by, misguided by, taught by, raised around, grew up with. Even if, yes, it's not just my community, our community. I speak for everyone, but my heart is always with my people because my heart is always home. Like me and then Jay, Jersey. Stand up. But yeah, man. It's time to wake up, yo. It's time to enlighten, to heal, to teach, to love, to pray. It's time to do everything and a lot of things, y'all. It's time to get It's time to come out with our anger and our frustration, our hurt and the pain with the people that hurt us. But we need to do the right thing. We need to be righteous. We need to be good. We need to be wholesome. What's I'm gonna say something I say in my prayer, like, may I and all of us in humanity, in my generation, my community, my culture, my people, humanity, life, and existence have, learn to have, grow to have, and continue to have more hope, faith, belief, trust, confidence, security, assurance, patience, love, respect, understanding, kindness, compassion, consideration, care, loyalty, commitment, equity, sympathy, empathy, intimacy, closeness, connectiveness, bondingness, wholesomeness, righteousness, goodness, wholeheartedness, and a lot more. Like, my prayers is, I got a lot of things I pray about. Like, I pray 3 times a day. One when I wake up, and 2 when I eat. Like, I pray a lot, and that's been helping me a lot during this quarantine too. Like, all those things and more, all the righteous, true, real, raw, good things is what we need as individuals, and as a collective. With the small things that's important, like the streets, the hood, the ghettos, the burbs, and all that. And shit as big as the world, as the environment, as nature, as mental health, as sex, alcohol, drugs, and everything. And I know a lot of people either gonna not care, get mad, or get defensive with the whole statement with weed, because that's been a whole thing with me and how I grew up too. Weed. Even like I seen a comment that's Montana's like Montana 300 says like you gotta have some type of weakness or dependency if you depend on weed so much. And all I see on social media, I don't know what people doing in their personal life, but when it comes to promoting shit, it's like alcohol, drugs, weed, your ass, silhouette challenges, busted challenges, part of the plan, shaking ass, being a gangster, being a hoe, being a stripper, being a thought, being a model, influencer, being a liar, being a cheater, being a two-timer, and just influencing toxicity, negativity, hatred, evil, ignorance, hypocrisy, one-sidedness, double standards, inequity, and a whole bunch more that is wrong. We need to stop. We're corrupting each other and ourselves. We need to wake up and stop the bullshit. I've been tired. Everyone that I know that's on the same road and journey that lived the same life, is tired. We tired of the street shit. We tired of beef. We tired of heartbreak. We tired of ignorance. We tired of, well, I'm tired of feeling like I can't ask questions and talk no more. I'm tired of the government. I'm tired of reverse racism. I'm tired of ignorance, hypocrisy, belligerence, and everything I said and more. I'm tired. And it's time for evolution and change. It is time to evolve and grow in light and rise. It's time to wake up. Those have been the main words I've been saying in this video because that's the premise of this video. Along with my future, our future, in this channel and page, my life and everything you're gonna see. We need to wake up, yo. We sleep. We're dead. We're disconnected. We're not attuned. We're not spiritual as we think. We're not individuals. We're not different. We're not weird. We're not nonconformists. Well, most of y'all not. And I'm gonna tell you that. Y'all followers. Y'all fraudulent. Y'all fake. Y'all ain't shit. I love y'all. But our generation, our community, for the future and for the kids, for us, we need to start telling the real truths with everything, everyone, history, the past, choices, decisions, actions, words, and more. It is time to wake up. We need to heal. We need to pray. We need to manifest. We need to attract. We need to love. We need to confront our demons and ghosts, internally, externally. We need to have honor and dignity and righteousness and wholesomeness and love and all the shit that people think is lame. We need to stop being so one-sided and hypocritical and double standard, ladies. We need, black ladies, as much as y'all my queens, well, some of y'all, because a lot of y'all really be some fucking hoe-ass dots, bitches that ain't shit. Whatever. Same thing for niggas. Fake, fraudulent, wannabe ass, gangster, hard body niggas. Y'all just bullies. But yo, for real, we need to wake up, yo. Because honestly, if we don't wake up and really learn, as much as we think we learn it, it's not going to be until tomorrow for us. And that goes with everything that's in our community, culture, generation, economy, the world, money, love, friendships, relationships, family, and more. It goes deep, and it goes way deep. And it's time to wake up. But yo, I wanted this video to go to 45 minutes. This is Mr. Prophet here. You know, coming back with another honest, vulnerable truth. I just want my community, culture, generation, people to evolve, grow, and wake up. Because it's time and it's our time. Follow me at the heart and soul of the prophet second uh, for the second P is a F on Instagram. And yo, come with me on this healing journey, man. We figuring it out, yo. But pray, love, heal, evolve, grow, wake up. Peace.